joining us on this very somber anniversary. I'm Sean Tempesta.
Good morning, everybody. I'm JJ Snyder, and this is Jerry Metellus, photographer by trade, but more importantly, a giver of light.
October 1, 2017, we were hit by tragedy, one of the darkest pages in Las Vegas history. 58 people lost their lives, and 58 angels rose. In that time of darkness, something amazing happened. We saw the community come as one. People stood in line for hours to donate blood for strangers. They donated blood for over 575 victims, the survivors. What popped in my mind when I saw all this was how to help. What can we do? And something extraordinary happened downtown Las Vegas. There was a plot of land managed by Get Outdoors Nevada, a nonprofit organization. They brought together a list of volunteers, and together they plotted, they dug, they planted 58 trees, one representing each of the victims, flowers, plants. Siegfried and Roy, the legendary Siegfried and Roy, donated a tree, which is the tree of life, which is also called over there the healing tree. At the foot of that tree, 58 stones, hand-painted on each of them the name of the victims. So it came to mind that seeing this effort and what can we do as a community, what more can we do? Many efforts have been accomplished. And I thought the Healing Garden needs our help. It's a nonprofit, they need funding. How can I fund this? I have a project I'm proposing to you, I'm inviting you to. I thought of creating a coffee table book, the sales of which will help fund this Healing Garden, to help this nonprofit keep this alive in the memory of all these 58 angels. The name of the project is Dance for Vegas. And what we're doing is creating a collection of images, which will be all compiled in this book. And the sales of this book will help fund that wonderful effort of the Healing Garden. You ready? So join me. Let's dance for Vegas.
Jerry, it's great having you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
I remember you telling me about this book in the weeks just after, and saying that this is a vision that you'd had for a while. Let's talk about, before we get into the book, the show of unity. We were just talking right before we went on air. October 1st is obviously an awful day. October 2nd was such an incredible day in this city. Oh. Took my breath away. There was such a showing of unity. A year later, are we on that same path, do you think?
Oh, I would wish I could say yes. Human spirit holds on to negativity much quicker than it does positivity.
Of course.
And that dissipates very quickly. So our job as the people of light is to remind people that we are actually the majority. Because the minority actually gets the noise. They get the coverage. Sadly, you know, in the news business, we all know this. You know,
of course.
Right. This is what we talk about. We don't talk. So we don't talk about the 20 million people that went to the bank and did well and just conducted themselves with stranded transactions. We talk about the one person who came with a gun and robbed the bank. And same here. We have millions and millions of people come to Las Vegas every single day. And everybody goes about their business regularly. And this guy came in, created chaos. In the moment of tragedy, everybody bands together. And suddenly, when everything goes back, we forget. Yeah. I remember days before 1 October, they had the storm in Texas.
That's right, Hurricane Harvey.
Yep. Hurricane Harvey, thank you. And I remember seeing this particular scene that struck me as interesting. This older white woman was in the stair at her house, and water rising, and this big black guy comes in, puts her on his shoulders and walks back out, right? In those moments, race doesn't matter. Political affiliation, who cares? Religion, no one cares. When we were talking about people donating blood for 4 to 6 hours, they stood in line to donate blood. No one asked them, who did you vote for before they accepted the blood? No one asked, what religion are you before they accepted a bottle of water? But 2 days later, everybody went back. And in the past year, it's been complete insanity. And so my question always is, why wait for tragedy to band together? Why don't you practice kindness as a way of being every single day. So by the time it happens, you're an expert.
I'm glad you made that point, because I was at United Blood Services the morning of October 2nd and stayed for hours and hours and watched the thousands of people who turned out, and the people coming down with truckloads of water and food, and the giving. And it did make you think, if we are this strong together today, what if we were always acting like this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you bring that up, not to interrupt you, but if you bring that up, people say, oh, now we're going to light candles and sing Kumbaya? I'm like, maybe, why not? What's wrong with that?
Well, listen, on a practical level, it just shows when we choose to come together and mobilize, we are so powerful as a society.
Absolutely.
So this book was your answer, because you felt very touched by the outpouring of the community, but then you also felt that people kind of just went back to their daily life. This book has become your way of channeling the positive energy.
Absolutely. And in fact, I mean, the amount of support and presence that came with this was grassroots. So there was no, my regular job is big production, hair and makeup and styling. We fabricate reality, right? Which in advertising and commercial and commercialism. And so we need to touch the consumer a specific way, and everything is studied and planned. In this, it was, you guys show up, your own hair and makeup, there's no catering, there's no nothing.
We know why we're here.
Absolutely.
Let's make it happen.
And most of these sessions, it was just the artist and myself. And I helped direct them, and we created these images. I have my assistant Nico behind the scenes over there, here's some of the shots. So right there we have the guys, there's some members of the Backstreet Boys, who was members of Cirque du Soleil. There's a gentleman from Hamilton, the tour, by George Washington, who came in. So dancers came from all over the city. We have some big names that came in too.
Max and Val.
Max and Val from Dancing with the Stars were gracious enough to come in, because I've worked with them before. They said yes. I had a great surprise. There's a lady by the name of Bonnie Story, who was a choreographer, Emmy-winning choreographer. She choreographed all the High School Musical movies, directed by Kenny Ortega. So she came in with her daughter Kelly. Yeah, and she did it. I mean, and I can't think of all the different people. Another great little group, you know the show World of Dance, and they had this group of young kids from the Rock Center for Dance, who had performed on the show, and about 4 different people told me, you should have to get kids. Do you take kids? Like, anybody who's talented.
Before we continue, I want to make sure that we get to this. Both Max and Val sharing their thoughts. Let's hear about Max from that night.
Awesome.
My parents were in LA, in Vegas, during the night of the shooting. And they were actually walking on the strip with their friends. They were near, they were in the vicinity, and lived through 9/11 back in the day. And you can't compare, you know, one and the other, but that was our city. This is my friend's city. And so the feeling was kind of like similar, and that really scared me, because I thought that that's one of those like once in a lifetime emotions, and you know, unfortunately it's not.
For me, Vegas was a very welcoming, very you know, hospitable place where, as an artist, I got to grow and really foster that talent. And it's a city that's welcomed me arms wide open, has taught me so much, and it's been very kind to me. So I feel compelled to do something in return.
You know, it's just incredible to see the artistic community, how they have turned out from the benefits that happened after the event to this amazing book that you've done. We're going to hear a new song by Andrew Tierney here from Human Nature. I mean, really a lot of creativity has emerged.
Oh, absolutely. And art has a way of doing that, doesn't it? I mean, let's face it, even you look at the set, artist designs it. You know, so we are touched by art in so many ways that we typically take for granted. You know, so it's when it's pointed out, and art with a purpose always happens. We were in the 70s, man, there were activists all the time writing a song about something. And so I think that art is the common denominator, music particularly. And in our case, music is the engine that drives the steps, that drives the dance.
We'll run out of time really quickly.
Yes.
When do we get our hands on this book?
We're in the design stages right now.
So we're getting
design
very
stages.
close.
So we're
And-
getting close.
And it benefits the Healing Garden.
Healing Garden, and should be released, God willing, for the holidays, Christmas holidays.
Beautiful. Over 100 dancers photographed at this point. Thank you so much, Jerry.
Thank you so much
Love
for
you,
having
buddy.
me.
Sean and
Always
I
a pleasure.
love to spend time with you. Thank you
Ditto,
so
man.
much.
Thank you.
We know how incredibly dedicated you are to this project. We appreciate your hard work as well. To learn more about the Dance for Vegas project, visit the website or the Facebook page as well. You can also search for Dance for Vegas on YouTube and view the video invite. If you have any questions, email Jerry at the address that's right there on your screen. Once created, proceeds will benefit the Las Vegas Community Healing Garden.